Matthew 11:25 through 30. This video is going to focus on verse 28 and the surrounding connections and the warning that's revealed through his testimonies to the Torah movement, really, for their presumptuous sins. At that time Yeshua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and has revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father, neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and him whomsoever the Son reveal him. Come unto me, all ye that labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. So kind of focusing on 28 through 30 there. I'll read them again. Come unto me, all ye that labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Now on to Exodus 33, which again contains prophecy of the Messiah, verses 12 through 14. And Moses said unto Jehovah, See, thou sayest unto me, Bring up this people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore, I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. Jehovah's presence is Yeshua. Yeshua's quoting Exodus 33 in Matthew 11. My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And then the next chapter is Exodus 34. The Ten Commandments are written in stone for a second time. They are refreshed. Isaiah 28:9 through 12. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breasts. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, This is the rest, wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. The rest is the Sabbath, the rest is the millennial reign, the refreshing is that of the holy covenants of promise, because the sacrificial law was ended at the cross, the sacrificial law that you Torah movement like to heap on people, because Judah has deceived you and your own wicked hearts have deceived you. Now Nehemiah 9:26 through 35. Nevertheless they were disobedient and rebelled against thee, and cast thy law behind their backs, and slew the prophets which testified against them to turn to thee. Testifying is prophesying. The testimony of Yeshua is the spirit of prophecy. And they wrought great provocations, earthquakes in diverse places, contentions in diverse places. Check it in the Strongs. Therefore thou delivered them into the hand of their enemies, who vexed them. And in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven, and according to thy manifold mercies thou gave them saviours, who saved them out of the hand of their enemies. But after they had rest, they did evil again before thee. After they had entered into the rest, after they had been obedient, after they had been keeping the Sabbath correctly, keeping the Ten Commandments correctly, then they did evil again before thee, which is exactly what the Torah movement has done. They've come out of the Christian church, learned that they had to keep the Ten Commandments, and then they've gone far right and followed after Judah, treacherous Judah, more treacherous than Israel. Therefore leftest them thou in the land of their enemies, so that they had the dominion over them. Yet when they returned and cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven, and many times did thou deliver them according to thy mercies, and testified against them, that thou mightest bring them again unto thy law. Yet they dealt proudly, and hearkened not unto thy commandments, but sinned against thy judgments. Dealt proudly. Woe to the crown of pride, the drunkards of Ephraim. but sinned against thy judgments. His judgments is Leviticus 19:15 through 18, which is to keep and teach the 10 Commandments and, of course, the Rainbow Covenant, and not to add burdens onto people, not to be presumptuous, not to be doing the feasts unworthily, which if a man do, he shall live in them, and withdrew the shoulder, and hardened their neck, and would not hear. The exact same as Isaiah 28. You would not hear the rest, and you would not hear the refreshing. Yet many years didst thou forbear them, and testified against them by thy Spirit in thy prophets. Yet would they not give ear. You wouldn't hear it, you just don't hear. Therefore gavest thou them into the hand of the people of the lands. Giving them into the hand of the people of the lands, you see that in Hosea 8, which I'll read in a little while. Nevertheless, for thy great mercy's sake, thou didst not utterly consume them, nor forsake them, for thou art a gracious and merciful God. Now therefore, our God, the great, the mighty, and the terrible God, who keepeth covenant and mercy, covenant, the 10 Commandments, mercy, the royal law. Let not all the trouble seem little before thee, that have come upon us, on our kings, on our princes, and on our priests, and on our prophets, and on our fathers, and on all thy people, since the time of the kings of Assyria unto this day. Howbeit thou art just in all that is brought upon us, for thou hast done right, but we have done wickedly. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, being presumptuous, the great transgression, which Ephraim is incredibly guilty of, the Torah movement are incredibly guilty of. Neither have our kings, our princes, our priests, nor our fathers kept thy law, nor hearkened unto thy commandments and thy testimonies, thy prophecy, wherewith thou didst testify against them. Not doing the feasts is all over prophecy, and you'll select one precept, but you won't read precept upon precept, because you're covetous. For they have not served thee in their kingdom, and in thy great goodness that thou gavest them, and in the large and fat land which thou gavest before them, neither turned they from their wicked works. So they have not served Jehovah in their kingdom, not in his kingdom. What could that be talking about? Could that be talking about Ephraim, USA? Now on to Hosea 8 through 13. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles, as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. The same as what Nehemiah 9 said. You should be among the Gentiles, for they are gone up to Assyria, a wild ass alone by himself. Ephraim hath hired lovers, yea, though they have hired among the nations, now will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of the princes. Because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin, altars shall be unto him to sin. I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing. Torah movement. Jehovah wrote the great things of his law. He wrote Deuteronomy 12 and 16, the great things of his law. Many other great things, of course, like the refreshing of the covenant that you don't see. But they're counted as a strange thing. Why? Because you're prideful. Because you're covetous. Verse 13. They sacrifice the flesh for the sacrifices of my offerings. You sacrifice the Passover lamb, for his feast, and eat it, but Jehovah accepteth them not. Now will he remember their iniquity, and visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt. And now Isaiah 39 through 15, and just before this, those prior 8 verses, it discusses a group of people that trust in Egypt and trust in Pharaoh, and that is you, USA. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Jehovah, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. You trust in Egypt. Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant, when Satan is cast down over the USA. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shed assured to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit. For thus saith the Lord God, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest shall ye be saved, in the refreshing of the covenant shall ye be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not. You don't hear the refreshing of the covenant. You take it upon yourselves to put people back under sacrificial law, the law of sin and death. And you're obligated to keep all quote-unquote 613 mitzvots. There's more than 613. That's a Talmudic number. But you trust in the lying winds of Judah. You're trying to save yourself instead of saving others. You're feasting when you should be mourning. Yeah, there's so much wrong.